Barry Cottle, who is the CEO of Scientific Games, a company that in recent years has undergone a lot of change through mergers and management changes. And Barry, I kind of look at you as being the guy who now has come in the aftermath, and now you're the stability, you're the future.
I appreciate you saying that.
Tell us a little bit about what you've accomplished and intended to accomplish in this first year or so that you've been CEO, and how you look at the next year or so.
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, thank you for asking that. It's been a really strong year for us. We really set out to do several things that we felt were going to be core to our success. I think the number one thing that a lot of people, when they think of us, is they look at our balance sheet, right? And so kind of very top of our list was we wanted to really achieve a strong balance sheet. And when I came in, we were at about a 6.5 or 7 net debt leverage ratio. We've gotten that down over the past year to about 6.5, and we put a plan in place to get to 5.5 by the end of 2020. So really happy with the progress that we've made there and the plans that we have in place going forward to achieve the 5.5. The second is really getting great talent in. As you know, great people do great things, and we really wanted to get a team in place that we really felt strong in terms of each of the business units, experienced leaders that are very passionate about their business, and we've been able to do that across the business units as well as augment them with some people in the corporate office or the corporate side of things, such as our chief product officer that brings some talent from like Silicon Valley to push the company toward the kind of new technologies and things that we feel are important for us to continue to innovate. And so getting the right talent in place, number two, and then we wanted to address, make sure that we, it's all about, building great games, getting our core market, core markets growing again, in particular game ops for us. Game ops had been declining for several years going into last year. We've now been able to stabilize that over the last few quarters, and in fact, if you looked at the latest Eilers report, we have 8 of the top 25 game ops games out there and 3 of the top 4 WAPs. So we've got a roadmap put together. We've got great games coming out, really addressing those core markets. And then on top of that, we wanted to make sure as the world evolves to digital, that we put ourselves in place to be the market leader as those markets evolve. And so again, with if you look at iLottery, with Pennsylvania iLottery and being the most successful iLottery launch in North America over the last year, or actually in history, but something we did over the last year. We got sports betting and the wins that we've had there. We're putting ourselves in a position as the market evolves to be both the leader on the land-based side as well as on the digital side. And then we've got even further plans to pull those two together to create seamless experience and things of that nature.
When you talk about digital, you've got SciPlay,
yeah,
which is now an independent company, even though Scientific Games owns 80-some% of it. What's the future relationship there that you see as of today?
We're really happy with how we're with what we've done with SciPlay to date. As you mentioned, that also was over the last 12 months, I think, a big win for our organization to take that public with a very successful IPO. We still we maintain an 82% ownership stake. It's still a very strategic asset for us. So we were able to basically generate cash, but yet hold a very strong strategic position in the company, which at this point we don't have plans to change what we're doing with that now. We're very bullish on the future of that business, and as it's had greater than market growth over the last several years, and we continue to see that it's going to be successful, and we want to continue to be a part of it.
When you talked about bringing in leadership talent, you obviously got the industry's attention when you signed on Jamie Odell and Matt Wilson. Can you tell us a little bit about the roles that they will play?
Yeah, absolutely. As I mentioned before, great people do great things, and great talent, you get great gaming talent, great culture to attract and retain, the top people in the industry, and that's been a huge priority of ours. We got a very strong gaming, team in place, and Derek and I have been partnering to help the team in transition, but to be able to augment that with somebody like a Jamie Odell, who's got such, proven leadership and success in the space in building great cultures and cultures that build great games, and along with Matt Wilson, really helps solidify our senior team in that capacity, and we think will really help us going forward. I've been now working with Jamie, in an advisory role for several times, and he's truly an amazing individual who has a great sense of culture and how to build great games and roadmaps, and he's been a wonderful person to work with.
Well, you've done a great job of laying out your priorities. You've taken care of most of my questions and made it easy on me. One of the questions would be, as you put these into place, as you get as you strengthen your balance sheet, and you get down to 5.5 is it times?
Yeah.
And improve beyond that, I'm sure, after 2020. What is your vision for what Scientific Games will look out, say, 3 to 5 years out?
Yeah, so it's interesting because over the next 1 to 2 years, we really had to focus on winning the core markets of where we're at today, right? And then ensuring as new markets materialize, we put ourselves in a leadership position to win those. But the ultimate goal, which is the 3 to 5 years out, and really, quite frankly, the whole reason why we acquired all the assets that we did over the last 3 to 5 years was our original vision, and our continued vision is we want to be the worldwide leader to provide the enabling platform and the leading content across the 3 major forms of wagering, which is gaming, lottery, and sports betting. And that's a $400 billion plus market on the, on the operator side, and we want to be the leading supplier to do that. And if you look at it today, if you actually line up, in lottery, gaming, and sports betting, and you look at all the different pieces of the value chain that you can own, whether it's on the gaming side, gaming sales, game ops, tables, or on the enabling platform side with systems and our iGaming platform, our iLottery platform, and our sports platform, across those 3 verticals, there's no other, Scientific Games alone, no other competitor can provide both 2 things that we think are extremely important. One is the one-stop shop for any casino operator or any operator. And as you know, if you look at Canada and you look at places in Europe like an ALC or et cetera, we can provide everything to them and in a one-stop shop manner to our customer. But secondly, and most importantly, we can provide a seamless player experience. So if you think about a single wallet with authentication, a player comes in, they can buy a lottery ticket, they can make a sports bet on their phone, they can go and sit down in the casino, and we provide we can provide a seamless experience to that. And that's been the original vision and where we've wanted to get to. And so that's where we want to be 3 to 5 years ago. We really do feel very strongly we're uniquely positioned to deliver that because we're the only ones that have all those pieces of the value chain today.
Okay, great. We talked about the balance sheet, which is the subject that always comes up, and as you had said at the beginning, that was job one when you first came in. That aside, what would you like investors to best understand about Scientific Games?
It's really exactly what I just said, which is basically, right now, I think from a competitive positioning perspective, we stand alone in our ability to deliver the full one-stop shop, seamless player experience, which is where the world's going as the digital markets evolve. There's no company better positioned than we are, because we've set ourselves up to deliver that solution in the marketplace, and it's only becoming more and more important each day. And quite frankly, you'll see if, hopefully you can come to our booth and others can come to our booth, but if you come to our booth at G2E, we've got great games for you to see, but the one thing that would be, as we talk about seamless player experience, we've actually set up and shown how, in our booth, how that actually comes to life. Being able to make a bet, and you're playing on a slot, and make a bet on an iView 4, or you're sitting and you're playing on a bar top, and you're able to, there's personalization involved, so we know the games that you play, and you can play slots and make a bet there, and how we bring it all together, because we have both the systems platform side and the content side. We can actually deliver benefits to the players, and that piece of it is really starting to become real. And user interface and experience is always going to rise to the top to players as to what they, to where they make their consumer choices. And I think we're better positioned than anybody to deliver that.
Barry, great overview. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Appreciate it.